What's up, everybody? It's Kev. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're gearing up for an exciting weekend, and appreciate you guys being here. Say hello to me in the comments as you get on. Want to know what you're up to today. Where are you from? Where are you tuning in today, and what you got going on for the weekend? So here's the point of this. I want to help you figure out, since we're at the halfway point of the year, how to have your next 90 days be better than the first complete half of the year. If you're a freelance copywriter, I'm talking to you directly. Really, if you do any kind of freelancing, what I like to refer to as creative marketing pros, that's people who use their unique creative DNA to make marketing campaigns better. Yeah, so that could be designers, that could be videographers, video editors, motion graphics, any of that. But primarily, I'm talking to direct response copywriters because that is who I coach every day here in Copy Chief and in our coaching programs. And it comes down to one thing. I'll just get right to the punchline. The single most effective thing I've seen and coached freelance copywriters particularly to do is to specialize. And I know, a lot of people can talk about specializing in different ways. Does that just mean niching down and choosing one market, that kind of thing? I'm going to show you today how it can mean a lot of different things. And it's the way to have no competition is to be like 100% you in your business and how you talk about the work you do. And I call it a bat signal talent is what you want to have. And I'll show you why I call it that in a second. What I want to let you know about is a special event we're doing in September. You can join Copy Chief anytime and start to learn these skills. For me and my team, I've been, again, we've all been teaching this for years. But we're doing a special 2-day event in Knoxville, Tennessee in September 14th, 15th, 16th, where we're going to work directly with freelancers to help them decide their specialty, package it up, and sell it either to your best clients, your best future clients, or as a product. If you're at a level where you really have got some unique processes and you've got some great results on how you help clients, then you should be packaging that up and selling it as consulting services, as maybe a workshop, a small course. And I'll give you some examples of people who have done that really successfully as well. I want to say hello to Rachel Mazza. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, good to see you.
Great to see you. Let's talk about what we're doing in Knoxville, because this applies to anybody who needs to do better, right?
Yeah.
And so first thing I want to talk about is we'll talk about why Knoxville, and then we'll talk about why 90 days. Why is 90 days so critical? So first of all, we're doing this event in Knoxville primarily for 2 reasons. Number one, Rachel lives there.
Now, this is a recent evolution.
Rachel has lived all over the world. She's worked all over the world. She is like the poster girl for nomadic living, right? And nomadic work. Talk a little bit about that journey for you, Rachel.
Yeah. I get around, Kevin.
That's what I've heard.
Now I've always used my freelancing skills to work my way around the world. And that was the dream for a long time, but it's a funny thing when you get older, living out of a backpack isn't so fun. So we've been looking for a home base for a while now. And obviously my partner Bronco's a copywriter as well. And he's based in the States now with his job, working for one of the Stansbury companies. And so we were really just looking for a home base that would serve our entrepreneurial and traveling whims as we needed. And Knoxville was just such a cool place. Someone actually told us about it when we met them in Lisbon, Portugal. We were living in
Wow.
Portugal, and we met these guys that were from Knoxville, and they convinced us to check it out. And we just haven't been disappointed. It's a city for makers. It's called the Maker City, or sometimes they call it the Scruffy City, because it's a very scrappy band of entrepreneurs and hustlers and people who create things either with their hands or their minds. And it really is just such an amazing hub for people that want to create stuff that's unique. They want to collaborate on it together. There's an incredible sense of community here, both within the entrepreneurial community, but even just as a city itself. And everyone really does want to support people that are creating things and people that are creating things here. So it's a really great place for this event, where we're going to be talking about building your own offers. And that may not be a product, right? It may just be your specialty, your expertise, where you can be paid for your time and your knowledge.
Yeah, that's the thing I want to be clear about. This doesn't mean starting a supplement company. This doesn't mean, drop shipping. It doesn't mean like you have to create a new business. The amazing thing about being a freelancer, particularly a freelance copywriter, is you're getting paid to learn, to advance your skills, to get your hands into the marketing with your clients. And you are learning stuff that you probably take for granted, that these are skills and knowledge that most people do not have. And so when you take that and you think about it and you identify it and you put it on display, that is really when the floodgates open up in your business. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, Rachel. This is what you've done your whole career. We have so many of our students in Copy Chief who I think of Rachel Kraft.
Yeah.
It can be the simplest thing, right? So here you are, you're doing your work, you're working with clients, you're kind of taking what comes at you. You're hustling, you're in hustle mode, right? Then you decide to land on a specialty, you choose it, you embrace it, and you advertise it. For her, simplest thing ever, landing, not landing pages, lead magnets.
Yep.
Lead magnets, something you would think everybody knows what a lead magnet is. That's not so special. How much are people going to pay for that? Completely revolutionized her career because she had focus and she became the go-to for lead magnets. So everybody needs them. And when somebody's in a room with a high-level marketer and they're like, I think we need a new lead magnet, like, oh, you got to talk to Rachel Kraft. So suddenly it becomes about the connection, like the bat signal, the talent, the specialty is what leads to connections. And Rachel, we were just talking about this on the marketing call earlier. Like, this is a career. We have to think of this as like a career. It's not an opportunity. It's not a hustle, right?
Yep.
Think about the most successful people we know. And it's the same with any kind of career. If you're really on a career path, you want to grow and change. It's like the person you met on this gig now ends up over there. They pull you in over there, right? You do a project, or maybe you go full time for a while with that client, and then you make relationships there, and then there's new opportunities, right?
Yep.
There's a whole world of recruiting and headhunting out in the real job world, but it's really kind of no different here with direct response copywriters, because despite our best efforts, the overriding question with great clients is, where do I find good copywriters, right? But because we've been around the longest, we've been able to form these relationships. As you know, I go to a lot of high-level masterminds. I've invested multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in my life to being in rooms with people who need what we do and understanding what they need. And so we've been recruiting for Agora companies for years now, right? They come to us when they need more writers. I think I can announce safely here that we just became the exclusive copywriting recruiting arm for Grant Cardone's company, right? And the only way to get these jobs is to come through our system, because what they don't want is just random people sending them applications, not knowing if they're a good fit or not. It's impossible to sort through all those applications. And so what we've done is we create a section in Copy Chief where the chief from that company is telling you exactly what to write, how to write it, and how to apply. Plus, you're getting to know them before you even apply.
Yep.
So it's the fast path to going to the top of the pile. And we're not talking about one-off gigs. We're talking about $85,000, $93,000 a year contracts, right? Full-time, will you be part of a team and get chiefed? Everything you could ever want as a new freelancer is an opportunity like that. But it starts with a specialty. That's why they're going to choose you.
Yeah, I love what you said about that. It's a career. You're building a career. I just listened to the podcast episode you just did about double your copywriting income, or what. And that was just such a good episode. If you haven't listened to it, go check out the episode. I think it's like 263. It's one of the most recent ones. And Kevin talks about how there's all these people talking about like, oh, double or triple your copywriting income. And that's doable, but they're selling you the dream because they know that they just have to say those magic words to get you in the door. And a lot of people are just either don't have the experience or haven't actually done this themselves, or they're selling like get rich quick, just cash grabs, right? And there's a big difference between people think about this as a career, as building a sustainable, real business, real offers that are going to pay you again and again, or just doing a cash grab on a quick gig and then you have to start all over again. And if you want to build something that is going to either be a legacy for you, where you're going to be known as an expert and people are going to seek you out instead of the other way around, or if you want to make this a lifelong thing where you can do like I did, I traveled the world for 10 years and was able to work from anywhere that there was Wi-Fi, all with my copywriting skills. If you want to build a lifestyle that you can design your life around your gigs, around your jobs, around your clients, then you really need to be doing the stuff that's going to pay off long-term and not those quick cash grabs, right?
Yeah.
And these offers, like building your own offers, is really the best way to go about it, because even if you're not building a course or you're not building an info product, just developing your system, your thing that you can go on podcasts and talk about, or that you can approach clients and say like, hey, I've got this system here that's proprietary that no one else can give you. It's just going to set you apart from all the vendors out there, from all the guys on Upwork. And bonus, if you can just replace some of your client income with stuff that you don't have to do yourself all the time, right?
Exactly. And you know, there is a big knock on that kind of client getting these days. You know, these gunslingers who come in and go, I'll beat your control for free and you can pay me if it works. Well, guess what? First of all, the industry already knows that typically does not work out, right? And nothing's free for a business owner. Okay, let me tell you that right now. Like, it's not just like I hand you the copy and then, you know, they've got to create a campaign around it. They've got to, you know, test it against another offer. It's a lot of work for them they still have to trust you and believe you, and you still have to have some evidence to show them, right? So the too good to be true thing is when it comes to that kind of offer. And again, who wants all that pressure? I'm going to spend, you know, weeks writing a sales letter in hopes that it beats the control. I may not know some key information about their audience, about their target, about their traffic, about the states of awareness, these things, right? And if it doesn't work, then what? You literally have nothing, and you've created a bad reputation for yourself with that client because you came in making big promises and it didn't work out. It's just not the way to go. Especially if you're newer. If you're newer, if you can get into a situation where you're being nurtured, where you're getting paid well to learn, it's like getting paid college, and then you go on from there and you can do whatever you want with that knowledge. You can package it up and do whatever you want with it. But so whatever level you're at now, you need to think about who you are, what you do best, what lights you up when you do it, and just be a marketer. Do the same thing you do for your clients, for yourself, and talk about it in a way that shows your work, that shows that you've got some history in this, you've got some special knowledge on this. That's what makes you stand out.
Yeah. So let's talk about this 90-day plan, Kevin, because this has been really exciting. And we've been working on this a lot in our accelerator group too. Yeah. This 90-day plan to beat your best year. Because we're halfway through July, a little bit over. Right. There's still a whole half of the year left for you to really make 2020 to your year. And there's a lot of talk about recession, and there's a lot of layoffs happening, and especially big industries like the financial publishing world. But that's another thing with creating your own offers. You've got a lot more control, and you're recession proofing your business. So let's talk about this 90-day plan.
So real quick, why 90 days? Because look, it's the perfect time period for you to stay focused and get things done. There's urgency, right? There's a clear plan that you can follow. A year, we all know what happens with New Year's resolutions, right? They're gone by February. A year is, or you can put it off till November, if it's really important to you. It's too foggy at times. 6 months is a little better, but you can still be really lazy about it. 90 days, think about it. If you were to lose a week of the time frame that you're working in, does it matter? Is it significant? Does it affect the plan? 90 days, like you could lose a week because life happens to people, right? And still get stuff done, but you'd know you had to move and maybe adjust, and it gets your attention. Think about seasons work in 90 days. 90 days is the cycle of life, right? So if you have a clear window on 90 days, it's how we measure, tax. We make quarterly tax payments, all these things. It's just that perfect window. It's the cycle of life. And so that's why we love 90-day plans. It's to get shit done, clear path, and you will see a result at the end of that. And then when you've done that, you can capitalize it on the next 90 days and keep building, right?
Yep.
And
go ahead. I was going to say we got some questions, but I want to make sure that we get through the 90-day plan because that's the most important.
Yeah, and then the thing I want to say about coming to Knoxville to do this with us, to understand your specialty, develop a bat signal, put it into action, is that you've got to break away. The reason we don't do this for ourselves, how many of you have sat there and said, why don't I do for myself what I do for my clients? I know how to create campaigns. I know how to market things. The reason we don't is because a client handing you money is the easiest way to get money, right? And so we don't step back and make time to do it for ourselves, to really treat our own business like a business. We're doing this live because we break away once or twice a year with our existing coaching students so that they can get away from the day-to-day, get out of the desk you're used to sitting in, put away the laptop that's where all your client stuff is, and the overwhelm. Put that aside and focus on you for 2 to 3 days with us, and leave there with the plan, with the blueprint. And then 90 days, you'll know what to do week by week to see. We're not talking about, again, it's not like, oh, I'm going to put together a PDF and try to sell it for $20 here. We're talking about who are you in your business, and how should people, look at you, and how do you charge for a special service, right? It's not just, it might be what you do with clients. You might package it up and sell it and get passive, recurring revenue. There's all kinds of ways you can do it, but it starts with where you are now and what you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about as well that a lot of people really like working with clients too. I love working with clients, but it would be great if you don't have to rely on them 100% too. And so by packaging all this up, by packaging up your knowledge, you give yourself options as well. Like, what if you want to have a life change? What if you want to have a baby, or you do want to go travel and live across the world where you're in a different time zone from all the clients you work with now? Wouldn't it be great not to have to rely exclusively on client work and be able to shift and change as you go through those seasons and those different chapters in your business? That's a huge point for creating your own offers that most people don't even think about, because they're just in the hustle of like, oh, I've always wanted to be a professional copywriter. I've wanted to be a professional freelancer. That doesn't have to be the end of the dream, right? You can always work with clients, but you can take it to another level where you've got even more freedom with your skills.
100%. There's I know the Cardone team, I haven't seen it yet, but they just, they've been talking a lot about how to become $1 million employee, the entrepreneurship, right? And again, like, we do this in our company, Rachel, like the people we work with, we want them, we know they're contractors, they have other clients, they're bringing the knowledge from their other projects to us. And so it's a total win-win, right? We all just make each other better, and they're taking stuff they learn with us and getting to go get better clients, and charge more money because they're becoming specialists. So you've got to be in the mix. You got to be doing the stuff. Do you want to hit some questions? And then I was going to really quickly talk about bat signals and show how we do it.
Yeah, I think actually let's talk about bat signals first. I know you can't see the questions here. It looks like our streaming thing is broken, but Maria's dumping them in the Slack channel for me. So we'll make sure we answer all the questions. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's talk about bat signals first.
Yeah, let's just, again, I don't want to just talk about this. I want to show you the process for this. All right. So let me just cut to the chase real quick here. Let me just show you, we have, and by the way, I don't share this with everybody.
Is this something I should know about? Are we doing something?
I know, I didn't run this by you first, Rachel, but this is from one of our trainings. And the reason I want to share it is because, like I said, it's been the most effective tool, right? And there's a simple process for this to assess what you do: professional experience, your copywriting experience, your niche experience, and then what do you enjoy doing most? So professional experience is like all the jobs you've had, all the things you've done. It could even be like your hobbies, your interests, right? Anything you've spent time learning to become an expert. And so for me, I would list stand-up comic. I've been a bartender. I've been a hotel bellman. I was a VP of marketing for a friend's company. I'm a podcaster, right? And so then I list all the, different things I know from copywriting. I know how to use Infusionsoft. It can be a tool that we know a lot of people, Rachel, that specialize in Klaviyo, right? Yeah. For their clients. Sorry, let me get back to the tab there. And then you list all that out, and then suddenly you're like, oh, right now you're like looking at your own product here, and then you start highlighting different ones to see, well, how do these things connect? Okay, so for me, I was a bartender. I've helped clients develop products. I've worked in the fitness niche, and I love creating fun videos. So maybe I could say, okay, my specialty is I help fit bartenders develop workout programs with video. And then I go, no, that's stupid. That doesn't seem like, I don't think fit bartenders is an actual market. So I cross that one out and I go back to it and I go, okay, well, what else? Okay, well, what if I think about podcasting? I've written a lot of launch funnels, personal development. I know a lot about that niche, and I love interviewing experts. So what if I created sales funnels for podcasters in the personal development niche, right? Suddenly, I've got a real market. Super easy for me to go find those clients. All I have to do is go to iTunes and look at the top podcasts in that niche and reach out to them directly and say, this is what I do, right? And we know that anybody who has a successful podcast wants to create products, wants to sell products off of that. So suddenly you've got a real specialty. And again, this is just one quick example, but we've seen, we have so many of these that our students have filled out, and they connect the dots. And the cool thing about this, as you can see, it could be different combinations of things. A bat signal is just the thing you're interested in right now. As you develop more skills, this list grows, and now you could have like higher level, higher paying specialties, right? And real quick, Rachel, I'll just give some examples again so people can see this in action. Like, what does this look like when
Yeah, that's where the gold is. It's easy to fill this out, but it's really great to see how you can connect them all.
Right. So again, like, why I call it a bat signal is because you want to be known for your expertise. And like a client in distress might need your specialty to fix a problem. The first time I realized my bat signal was launch copy when I was freelance copywriting. All I ever did was write launches, but I never like advertised myself as the launch copy specialist just because I was doing it. I didn't, need to advertise it that much at that point. but a client, a really pretty famous high level person, was having a troubled launch, and he started asking around who's the best launch copywriter we know. And my name came up a few times. So he reached out to me and he's like, can you come in and save this campaign? And of course the answer was no, you can't, you cannot repair an airplane in the air. But I did what I could to help. And through those conversations, ended up doing 2 other big launches with him. Right. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool that this is what I'm known for. So that's another thing to think about. How do people refer to you now? Do your peers know what you specialize in? Would somebody tag you in a group as a specialist in that thing? Right?
Yeah, this is so important. I would really want to hone in on this, because how many times we have this conversation with coaching students where they're looking for clients and they have a bat signal, but they're not putting it in their signature, in their profile.
Right.
They're not reminding us, so that when we get in front of people and they say like, hey, do you have a person that specializes in this? We say like, oh yeah, absolutely. That's Anna. Right. You have to continue to tell people and be top of mind. And that's why the authority content is so important too. It's not just about like spreading your face all over the internet. It's making sure that you're top of mind at the right moment.
And that you think about the work you do, right?
Yeah.
And process through it. That's what makes you feel confident as an expert. So like I said, then it goes out as a bat signal, and then everyone knows it's for you, right? Things to remember about bad signals, like this does not define your very existence on earth, right? So don't stress. Start where you are. Again, use that matrix and assess. Heroics are not required. Doesn't need to save the world. Sometimes the simplest ones are the most effective. Like we talked about Rachel Kraft with lead magnets. Seems like the most insignificant thing, but she owned it, and it led to every great thing she's doing now in her career. But your bat signals will shift and evolve as you gain skills, as markets change, as you grow interest. So real quick, what does this look like? So Nicole Piper came to copywriting and had a career as a branding expert. But again, she was thinking, well, I'm not going to talk about that. I did that for 29 years. Now I'm a copywriter. She was getting at the back of the line as a copywriter instead of combining her expertise and being a specialist. And so this is how she combined her previous experience with her new skill, overcame the struggle of trying to land clients and be significant to them, had a great interest in alternative health, and then used her experience to start working. She became a Paris Lampropolis Cub, and her and Paris now have been writing control campaigns for years. Right. So none of that would have happened if she just thought of herself as a new copywriter. She didn't think about, where is my interest? What's a subject I could study all day and never get tired of? What do I care about? Chris O, we all know, again, Chris can be an intimidating example because he's a beast, right? We all know Chris. He's on fire. He's going to take over the world. But remember that 4 years ago, this was a high school teacher. It's not easy. You got to go to school and purposely land a high school teaching job. That was his goal before he discovered his ability to write great email, develop that skill, and then through our program, embrace it as a specialty. Now we know him as a beast. Now we follow him and listen to him. Now he's coaching other people. Now he has his own agency.
But he started with one offer, just one offer.
One offer. And so, I mean, this is what we're talking about here, is like embracing the work you're doing and celebrating it. April Dykman, she's copy chiefing for Miracy. She's also working with Paris. April's had several different bat signals. It's things as simple as welcome sequences, right? As a bat signal. I remember one of her earliest bat signals was about pages. About pages would seem like, how is that important? It's really important. Everybody needs one. She became the expert into it. It's just like easy side money. And then you build a little course around it. It's the way to protect and supplement your revenue. Mike Renard, a guy who, again, was just a new copywriter, discovered that he loved email, then started writing Facebook ads, then was frustrated that his clients weren't launching the ads and testing them quick enough because they didn't understand the tech. So he jumped in, learned the tech, developed that skill. Then he became an ad manager, and he was doing it all. And then he didn't want to push buttons anymore. So he just became the copywriter or consultant, and then started developing programs teaching how he wrote his ads his way. He's now the head of growth at Snappy Kraken, loves working there, making great money. And like you said, Rachel, the reason that was such an attractive option for him at that time was because his life circumstance changed. They were having their first baby, and he wanted to be able to do less, get paid as much as he was with his services and products and his clients, working about half the time so he could be a dad and spend time with his kid. So
yeah, I'm just watching all these faces come up on the screen too. And it's like Chris and April and Nicole and Mike. Like, I was there in the Accelerator Supergroup when they created their first offer. And it's just amazing. What has it been 4 years, how far they've come and how much momentum they built off of that first offer. Because when you start doing this stuff and you start getting really specific and you start really digging into your bat signal, I think a fallacy is that people think that it's going to limit you.
Yeah,
but it really just opens up this world because you can focus, and it's so much easier to move faster and move up more quickly in your rates, in the level of clients that you work with, in consulting offers, when you can go all in on one thing and start there instead of trying to be everywhere all at once and trying to be everything all at once.
Exactly right. So good. And, again, going back to the 90-day thing, time goes by fast. Like you said, I can't believe it's been 4 years since Chris even started copywriting, or, all these things. We've seen it happen in 90 days. Rachel Kraft was one of the fastest I ever saw. Within 90 days after RFL, she was doing this and the expert in it. Right. But if you don't do it, if you don't do it, it ain't happening. And those 4 years are going to go by anyway. And are you still basically at the same level, making the money? You're not respecting yourself as a true expert. So, okay. And again, Knoxville, this, you can join Copy Chief and understand how to do these skills like at any time. But if you really want to sit with us, work with Rachel and I and our whole team and understand, how do I take my existing knowledge and put it on display, get recurring revenue from it, get paid way more with better clients that I'm getting now? That's what we're going to help you do. We're not just going to talk about it. As you see, we give you tangible stuff to work with, and you'll leave there with the exact plan for how to blow up your business in a good way, to end out, because this will be in September, and this will be how you end out the year. And you'll go. And by the way, we ought to point out the elephant room. There's all this talk of recession. The economy's wobbling. This is not, it's a global problem, right? It really goes back to the supply chain issues, and we're coming out of a pandemic, everybody, right? It's kind of expected that we're going to have a wobbly economy. And that means that the generalists are going to be the first to go.
Yeah.
Not to mention the robots are getting pretty good at writing like real general copy, So we've got to specialize so that we can be treated as a specialist, paid like a specialist, and always be at the top of the heap.
Yeah, that's a good question. So our first question is from Anas, and he says, it seems like everyone in the copywriting industry is super optimistic and has these platitudes, right? Like, oh, it's going to be great. But no one addresses this upcoming economic downturn or possible recession. So he's asking, should we be concerned? And what are you doing to protect against that?
Yeah, great question. Look, this is where I love this idea. We're talking about connections in career, right? Because, the clients that, or anything can happen to any company, but this is where you want to start selecting, okay, who is my ideal client? What industry are they in that's isolated? Are they, because what happens when during a recession? By the way, and again, I don't want to add to the platitude, but in 2008, I had been writing copy for professionally full-time for about 2.5, 3 years. I did not feel 2008. I didn't like, I was writing about it. I was aware of it. I had the best year of my life ever in 2008, 2009, and it just kept building because the people who are hiring copywriters are not suffering, right? But if they've got a team of, 20 and they got to go to bare minimum, like say they are taking a hit, who are they going to let go of? The people who can be replaced by robots or, they're not going to get rid of their,
right?
yeah, they're not right. They're not going to get rid of their specialists who are the people who are bringing them revenue. And, so to answer your question directly and ask, think about where are the industries where you can specialize and focus and what can you do for them in a way that you will be indispensable, right? If you're just taking whatever comes and that kind of stuff, that's going to be fleeting. That's going to be temporary. If you're if you're on a retainer right now with a client in an industry that you feel is going to have a shakeup, start looking for another retainer. How can you take what you're doing for that one company and apply it to companies that are in a safer space, or you can just tell are more healthy. And by the way, it doesn't take a recession to have a company fail, right? You want to be developing your ability to assess how healthy is this company? Like, are they organized? Do they have their shit together? Am I getting support? Those are signs you want to look for all the time. And it's all about, knowing what you sell, what you can charge for it, and just, again, treating your business as your number one priority and making sure you're getting paid like a recognized expert, not just a vendor.
Yeah. And for anyone watching who was born after the year 2000, in 2008, there was another crash. And we learned from that business doesn't stop, right? Businesses continue to thrive. They continue to grow. Of course, different industries are hit differently, right? Like as things change and as the markets change. But that's another thing. How can you apply your existing skills to another market as well, so that you can easily pivot to where the money is?
Yeah, we just went through this with pandemic too. I mean, more recent example, like we all saw, and here's the other thing about it. Make one of your specialties how to write copy about the recession for your guru, for your company, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like pandemic, where the rule is going to be, you can't not say anything. And you don't want to sound like remember when everybody started realizing, oh my God, I've got to address this COVID thing. And like every email read the same. Us here at,
uncertain times.
And like, and it's just like, so there's a hangover from that. Everybody's like, how do we talk about this with our audience in a way that it's going to make them feel safe and all that? So there's a free tip for you. Make one of your specialties how to write like recession-proof copy or recession aware copy for your clients. It's not hard to do. You just have to sit there for an hour and think about, okay, what are the things people need to hear? Who's doing this well? What are examples from the past? And just put together a little guide. Imagine if you went to a company and you said, hey, I actually created a guide for how to talk to this audience during a recession based on this and that. They're like, top level expert. You basically just productized a thing that everybody needs. But because you talked about it that way, they're not going to hire somebody else. You just proved that you're an expert, and it took you like an hour to do.
Other things that are top of mind right now that I've seen in the market, inclusivity. So becoming a specialist and making sure that your marketing's inclusive and make sure that you're involving and speaking to lots of diverse types of groups, right? So there's now inclusivity consultants, which was not a thing 10 years ago, right? And so that's a big one. And then one thing that I've seen just being really plugged into the direct response publishing world is leveraging more of your existing customers. So especially in financial industry, we see this a lot, but applies all over the place. People want to spend less money to bring in new customers, and they want to spend more of their resources getting more out of their existing customer base, because they've already paid to get those leads and they know that they're the best customers because they've already bought for them.
Right.
So another specialty to really look into is how to leverage your existing audience, how to increase profits or roll out new offers or explain things in a different way that will get people to buy again from you that are already plugged into your world.
So good. I mean, even just getting more granular, like, okay, if you're writing email copy now, Like again with Chris, like look at Chris Evolution. He was writing different sequences for different marketing agendas within the company. And then he realizes, oh, like I know how to write, I can go sell a welcome sequence. I can go sell a cart abandon sequence. That's a great one, right? We paid Chris Orzakowski $10,000 to write a cart abandon sequence. And I think he was talking about this in a recent email. It took him like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he knew how to do them. But for us, and the deal we made was we paid him 50% of what it recovered.
It was found money, right? We were happy to.
Money for us. It was crazy good money for him. And so imagine if you had 10 of those going and you're collecting money every month on something you already know how to do, and everybody's coming out happy, right? If he said to us, hey, pay me $10,000 and I'll write these 5 emails for you, you'd be like, you're out of your mind. $2,000 an email. But to do it the other way, the deal we made, everybody wins. And, and so there are ways to make those deals. Like, I'll take it as it comes, but it starts with the relationship.
Yeah.
And the reason we trusted Chris and he trusted us is because we met as experts and there's a relationship there.
Yep. And his bat signal was clear. We knew what he did and we knew he was the best at it because he was shining that bat signal.
Yep.
All right. I've got a question from Sarah about the Knoxville event. She wants to know what's the difference between the VIP day and the main event.
Yeah. This is exciting. So the VIP day, basically everything we've been talking about here, we're going to walk you through this process in Knoxville. We're not only going to help you assess the opportunities, the different kinds of offers you can make. We'll also have Joel Irway coming in to teach you how he's doing what he calls InfoCast now. This is sort of like the hottest, newest thing in the webinar world and in VSL world. It's really cool how he did. Super easy for anybody to do. If you can do what Rachel and I are doing right now, you can have an InfoCast that kills it. Just talk about what you know. The VIP day is the day before the 2-day event. There's only 6 spots available because we are going to sit with you and our entire team, the people we work with every day to create offers, to launch offers, and help you decide on your offer, and then take everything you learn over the next 2 days and have all the resources. Basically, we're giving you our entire team to support you so that not to actually physically launch the offer. I don't want to make a false promise here, but to know everything you might need to do. So it's like, do you need help with some tech? Do you need to know which platform is best to launch something on? Do you need to know which marketing channel produces the best for those kinds of offers?
Who your audience is. Yeah.
And so you'll have us and our entire team who do this every day, so that, again, your blueprint basically is like your blueprint on steroids. Like now you've got the connections and you've got an open line to us essentially. So we'll help you suss it out, and execute it and give you all that support. And so what is it? What are we charging for that? Like $3,000 for the VIP?
So, yeah.
It's like ridiculously affordable.
Well, and there's only 6 people, by the way, that can come to the VIP day. So we're going to spend the entire day on your business. And it's so fun because every week we get on our marketing calls at Copy Chief, and we've got a marketing and product development team. And these guys are just geniuses. And we come up with funnels, we come up with ad campaigns, we come up with quizzes, right? And new products. And it's going to be the entire marketing team and product development team at Copy Chief that develops all of our own offers, working exclusively on your business for an entire day. Only you and 6 other people. So it's intense and it's going to be awesome. So that's the room you want to be in for sure.
Yeah, that's the one. If you're hearing this and you're like, I know, because the conversation I was having myself forever when I was freelancing was, things are good, my clients are great, the money's great, but I got to get my own thing going. You just start to get that nagging thing that I'm not fully protected, and I'm kind of getting a little burned out on the client work, like meeting other people's deadlines all the time. When am I going to do something for myself?
Yeah.
And if you're having that kind of conversation, this is exactly what this event was built for you. And that's what the VIP day is for. If you know you're ready to come out of there with an offer,
let's shortcut it for you.
Yeah. I think we've got 4 seats left or something. So it's truly very exclusive because we're going to give you full attention. Everybody's going to have a session, and you'll get to see what the other people there are doing and learn from them and get great ideas from what we help them decide.
And there's a cool party. We're going to have a good party.
Have a lot of fun. That's baked in.
Yeah, exactly. It's a guarantee. All right, let's see one more question. This is a great question because it kind of goes back to our idea about focusing for 90 days. So I just took 6 weeks off and I want to focus on copy and getting clients. How or what should I focus on during these 6 weeks where I've got my full focus so that I can start winning?
So are they trying to land clients within 6 weeks or just like get it together within 6 weeks?
It sounds like they've got a job or they got something else going on. They took 6 weeks off to launch their copywriting business.
Yeah, great. So look, again, this is what we walk you through is the idea of like that matrix I just showed you. Start with that. What do I know? What do I have special knowledge about or any working knowledge about? What have I had my hands dirty with? What would I love to write? Is there a hunger in that market for it? You know, we can't manifest desire, right? As Gene Schwartz taught us, we got to go where the energy is. So make sure you're positioning yourself to be an expert for somebody who has a need. And then what do you love? What lights you up? What gets you excited? When you decide that, and then start to think of it as the product, what I call the honey bun in the bakery window, right? You got to be able to put it on display. And then what I would do, if you're brand new and you're starting in 6 weeks, now start to study that market, start to find some people in that market who you would consider dream clients because you love the product, you use it, buy their product. Here's a great thing. Get on their list as a prospect, right? And have one folder where you put all those emails as the prospect and then buy the product and then have a folder to see how they market to people after the sale, right? Now you've got a full view. You're seeing everything they're seeing and doing in their own business, and it'll give you a super clear idea of what you could be doing and contributing. So it might be something as simple as broadcast emails. It might be a way you think you could help their sales sequences. It could be some of their social media stuff. Just study the heck, because if they're in a thriving market and they're doing well, that means there's 10 or 20 or 100 other companies who are trying to do as well as them. So study the best and become an expert on what they're doing. Pick one thing from that and bring it out to their competitors if they're not hiring, right? And
share the example, Kev. I love that example. Your personal experience with Lumi deodorant when they had the awesome ad and then you got the Lumi.
Yeah. So they did this great ad with our friend Johnny from Harmon Brothers, and I got so excited about the damn deodorant. I bought one because the commercial was great, and I'm like, yeah, I want that. And then it gets here, and it's literally wrapped in a manila folder. And, it looked like somebody did it in their garage. And there was nothing inside with personality. There was not even a little hey, welcome card. There was absolutely no branding on the product itself. It's like, all right, we got you to love us. Here's your thing. And I'm like, oh my God, if I was starting out, I would be writing to them going like, where's the fun? Where's the marketing?
Yeah.
Here's a little card.
Where's the upsell?
Where's the upsell? Right? Make me a part of this, right? So yeah, exactly. Like just having your copywriter goggles on and looking for opportunities.
Yeah. All right. So let's do one more question. So how do you go about finding the companies that you want to work with? Are you guys targeting big established brands? Or are you looking out to smaller companies?
Yeah, it's a good question. Always I would say that you want established brands. When you're brand new, if you're still kind of in hustle mode where it's like, all right, I just want to write for somebody pay me. Like all bets are off at that point. I always tell people like the first sales letter I ever wrote was for a guy who came to my door trying to sell me his lawn service. And we got geeking out on marketing together on my doorstep for like 45 minutes. And I convinced him to let me write a sales letter for him. And it was so exciting to have to be able to like now practice with purpose, right? So you might find your first client a lot of places, but what you don't want to do is having to be compete on price or, you know, if somebody has a low quality client is somebody who doesn't understand and respect the value of what you do, you know, because they don't really know what to do with it. So the more established brands, they're probably going to have a marketing department. They're going to have hopefully a process for helping you do great work and actually have it see the light of day and share with you the results of that work so that you can feel more confident, you can adjust, and you can share numbers with other prospects and, you know, really prove your work and your worth. So you definitely, and again, look, I was saying at the beginning of this, what we're so excited about in Copy Chief, and one of the great advantages of us being the first copywriting community and still the strongest after 8 years, is that great companies come to us because they know this is what we do. We help nurture smart people into becoming great copywriters. And then we place them in these companies, right? So it's not just we're going to teach you how to go hustle, or we're going to teach you how to write this thing or that thing. We're going to tell you this is what people are hiring for right now. Once you've developed these skills, go meet their chief, and they'll tell you exactly what they want to see from you. And now you've got the best shot of landing a job.
Yeah, really good question. All right, good. So I think that we're out of time, but we still got a couple good questions. Looks like Angie Coley's jumping in and answering some, and Maria as well. And Angie's going to be here. Maria's going to be here in Knoxville. Kevin's going to be here. We got Max Ham coming. He's going to talk about sales funnels. So I hope that you guys join us, because also I just want to show you around my city. It's a cool city. We're going to have a blast and learn a lot and make some money too.
I can't wait. Thanks for hopping on with me, Rachel. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Copychief.com/Knoxville. Go check it out. And if you have any questions, just hit us up at support@copychief.com. We'll take care of you. See you next time, everybody. Thank you.
See ya.